All right. What's... Dude, what am I even wearing right now? Yeah. Oh! God! Okay. No. Oh man, all this magic is getting me gassy. Okay, so, okay, and there we go, and I think we're ready to go. Yay for movie magic and really bad editing. This took me entirely way too long to do. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to yet again another vlog, and with some fun little editing tricks in there, really bad, I might add. And today I want to kind of follow up and talk about my series on the philosophy of truth that I just got finished with. I want to talk about the two main understandings in, I think understandings. What else would you call it? The two main understandings of truth, we'll just stick with that, of subjective truth and objective truth. In all the studying that I did of the philosophy of truth, these two main categories and understandings that everyone has, everyone knows truth. They don't necessarily say this is my subjective truth and this is objective truth, but subjective truth meaning pertaining to the individual, and objective truth meaning pertaining to like science, physics, nature, the way in which the world works. Even though people don't go around saying, this is my subjective truth and objective truth, like I just said, God, it is still a huge part of the talk of truth. And today I want to talk about specifically subjective truth. So I was looking at in a lot of my studies in science and physics and just looking into all that because it all interests me, I found that, okay, just for instance, right? Einstein, he would have never come up with his theory of relativity that has unlocked so much for us with science and the betterment of our world, right? All of his theories of relativity, that would have never happened if he had not had a dream of literally riding on a beam of light. Now, whether that was an actual dream, some people say it was a lucid dream, or if it was just a daydream because he contemplated and I guess arguably meditated a lot. And it was his dream to see, if he could ride on a beam of light or whatever. And so it was through that in his thinkings that he translated that dream into science and could this work, and these things don't make sense, and he just tried to make sense of it all. But it started out with a dream, with an emotion. And emotions to me, not just to me, I think globally, are subjective truths to the individual, because you can be feeling a certain way about a situation and you might be the only one feeling that way. Everyone else doesn't feel that way, but you have a reason, or something in you is causing you to feel that way about a situation that everybody else feels differently about. Now, that doesn't mean that you're wrong in the things that you're feeling, because what you're feeling is your subjective truth. And those subjective truths are very important. We can't ignore them. Like, I don't think that there is just strictly objective truth. I feel that both objective truth and subjective truth exist. But what I've found and what I'm finding is that the only way we get to objective truth in the world, not just by ourselves, but in the world, is through subjective truth. It starts out somewhere. And oftentimes in science, if you really think about science, like, scientists don't just fall out of the sky and they're these purely objective beings without emotion, without human difficulties, without human restrictions. Like, they're not this robotic thing that just strictly looks at the world objectively. No, they're humans. And so every idea in science, every proposal in science, and even the reason why people follow through with scientific or philosophical inquiry to get to truth comes from some sort of emotion. I mean, the world wants to separate emotion from rationality. And there are times where that is absolutely necessary and where you need to separate emotion from rationality. But when you really think about it, these two aren't necessarily separate. Now, where you get into trouble is you just think they are, like, emotion and rationality are the same thing. Well, I feel this way, so this must be the truth, and so this is what I'm going to act on. No, that's something I don't agree with. What I do agree with, however, is that I can rationally do something. I can rationalize something out of an emotion or experience that I've had that is subjectively true to me. Now, it might not be objectively true to the majority or to on a universal scale, but it is subjectively true to me. And so therefore, and I realize I'm getting into that, it's true for me argument or statement, which I don't agree with. If it's true for me, that doesn't make it truth. But I would be, if I were to ignore that part of me that says, I can't shake this, like, this is true for me, but why is it true for me? Why do I feel this way? If I'm searching that out rationally, and I'm saying, even rationally, acknowledging the fact that, okay, this feels so true to me, but how do I get to a place of objective truth? What is the actual truth? I think that's where emotions and rationality really go hand in hand together. And that, I mean, the more you think about it and the further back that you go into the thinking of, rationally acting out on something or logically acting out on something and thinking about something, it all goes back to what you're feeling emotionally and your subjective truth. Now, like I said, I want to keep repeating this because I know people are going to get confused or be like, are you just believing that your truth is the truth? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think there is both objective truth and subjective truth. And in order to find an objective truth of what actually is in the world, what is actually objectively correct, we have to really pay attention to the truth that we are recognizing in the moment. Again, I'm saying I'm using emotions as a example because they're a great example, right? Like, the way that you feel about something. That is true for you in the moment. It may not be, the absolute truth or objective truth, but it is a truth for you in that moment. So subjective truth is something that is true. But I don't believe that it is, I really don't even know the word to use for that. But I don't know that it is the only truth, and I really don't think it is, which that would lead to objective truth. But like I said, I don't think the world globally, universally, has come to any objective truth without first acknowledging subjectively what they think or believe is true. And I think that's probably my biggest point in making this vlog, is that I do believe in objective truth. And I'm going to make another vlog talking about specifically more objective truth. Even though I mentioned it a lot in this, I have more to say about it. But subjectively, what you find true, like your emotions, or emotions is a huge thing. There are other things that you can use for subjective truth, because there's so many things that it's like, this is a truth, but it is also, it depends on the individual, it depends on their story, it depends on where they're at in life, it depends on where they can handle. I think an example, and just because I'm staring at my scotch and whiskey right here, is alcohol. Besides emotions, is alcohol. I mean, some people can handle it. Some people can handle a couple drinks and they don't get addicted to it. They don't become alcoholics. It's totally fine. For them, it is a truth for them, like, I can handle this. I know I can handle this. But for other people, that's not the case. It's like they can't go near alcohol because they'll slip back into old habits, or they're an alcoholic and alcohol is destroying their lives. It's not a cut and dry thing that alcohol is absolutely bad for everyone because of this, and this. I mean, it's not great for your health, but it tastes damn good. But anyway, like I'm saying, some people can handle that, some people can't. So there's not a strict objective truth that alcohol is completely bad for everybody and nobody can handle it. That's just not the truth. The problem is what a lot of people do is take these things like let's say, take a truth like alcohol is strictly bad. It's just bad for you. If you drink even a little bit, you get drunk. And I mean, basically what religious people, a lot of religious people think, you drink it, you get drunk, and it's just bad for you. And all of that garbage, all of that junk, right? But that's not the case. That's not a strictly objective truth that is cut and dry. It's not cut and dry. It really has to do with what the individual can handle, what's true for the individual, knowing yourself. And that's why I think subjective truths matter, knowing what is true for you in those respects. Now, like I've been repeating time and time again in this video, truth is, I believe that there is objective truth, and both are just as important, but both need to be acknowledged. Both understandings of yourself and the world around you need to be acknowledged. And again, just wrapping up my point again on this video, and what I'm trying to say is that subjective truth is not something that can be, or should be swept aside. That's saying if you feel it, that doesn't make it true. If this is what's going on for you, that doesn't make it true. There are, in some situations, like God and like more universal philosophical concepts like that yes, that gets messy. But in things like your emotions or like drinking alcohol, and there's a number of other things like those examples, subjective truth there is a point to it. You do need to know it. You do need to know yourself. You do need to be able to see the way in which you exist, and that's not, every human is different. So subjective truth matters. Basically, is my whole rant. What I'm trying to say is subjective truth matters. And honestly, I'd love to know your thoughts on everything that I just said. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Because truth is messy and open to interpretation and very ambiguous. Just watch my series on truth to know what I'm talking about. So comment down below your thoughts, and like, subscribe, and share if you like this video, and which hopefully you did. And if you didn't, then just help. And that being said, I'll see you misfits next time. Peace!